Bienvenidos to Season 3 of Humans in Accounting podcast. In a world full of AI, automation, and endless workflows, we pause for a moment to focus on the real humans behind the numbers. Founders, leaders, humans share their journey, what drives them, and the moments that shape their path. Because behind every balance sheet, there's always a story worth telling. Humans in Accounting is brought to you by South Offices. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Humans in Accounting, where leaders, humans, people share their story behind their spreadsheets. As you know, I'm Alex Roman. This podcast is brought to you by South Offices, connecting accounting talent across borders. Today, I have a special guest, Nicole Rose Yen, founder at Ariel Corp. With Nicole, we've been talking now, I don't know, for a few years. And well, I'm super happy just to have you here in Humans in Accounting. Welcome, Nicole. How are you?
I'm great. Glad to be here, and it's a good time to be in accounting.
Yes. Thank you. I'm happy we finally are doing this together. The truth is that we never met. We never met
Yes. Yes.
yet. That's true. And I'll tell you something that I don't know if you know, but now we are already in season 3 of Humans in Accounting. We have, I don't know, maybe over 50 interviews. My objective, where I'm in this journey, I'm trying just to interview every human in accounting. So I still have a few more to go. And I'm pretty sure that out of all the interviews, you are the first guest who is closer to me physically. Because if I understand correctly, right now you're in Brazil, correct?
Yes. Sunny Rio de Janeiro. So we're what? 2-hour flight away.
A 2 hour flight away. Yeah, that's right. I've been interviewing mainly people that were at the moment where we were recording in the States. You're in Rio. How's the weather right now in Rio? Here in Buenos Aires, it's kind of chilly.
No, here it's really nice. It's about, I think, 30 degrees Celsius, 85, 85 Fahrenheit for my American friends. And if you're not sure if you should visit, I went to the gym this morning and it was on the beach. So I'm just like pumping iron, looking at the waves, sun on my face. It's all of the things that are just so good for us.
If you're watching this in the future, you've never been to Rio, to Brazil. This is me being super, super serious. I've never been so serious. I'm not a typical serious guy, but this time is me being super serious. Just go to Rio. Rio, it's great. Now it has been now a few years since I've been. Nicole, for us Argentinians, like Brazil, it's whenever Argentina has a lot of like really cool places, and I
Yeah.
always, whenever I'm talking with someone who's from the US, I always recommend coming to Argentina. The truth is that we don't have really good beaches. All Argentinians who can afford and get a flight ticket and spend summer in Brazil, that's usually where we go.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's great that you're there, Nicole. Let's talk a little bit about you. I wanna know you a little bit better. The audience wants to know you a little bit better. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about your background, how you started, how you ended up being a guest here in Humans in Accounting, and why you're not on another podcast that it has to do with architecture or software development or maybe other industry. Tell me a little bit of how you started.
Yeah, so I actually started in software and worked in best practices for medical software. And I had studied accounting and was accepted into a master's program. And I have seen what life is like inside of a lot of firms. And despite really loving the fun we can have with numbers, you can't say creative accounting, but the fun we can have with numbers anyway, I decided to go a different path. Um, But during COVID, I saw a bunch of the businesses that we worked with, individually owned clinics closed down because they really just didn't have any good advice. They weren't receiving advice. They weren't didn't have good bookkeeping. And the most they did was really taxes and like you're on your way. And for me, I'm here to promote small businesses, small and medium sized businesses, because in my opinion, I think that really solves most of the world's problems. So today, if I inspire someone to go out and start a small business and then within my business, help businesses grow, that is my life's mission. And so that was it. That was the turning point. I have always really loved math and I loved accounting as well, and that was the push that I needed to get over the hump of CPA stigma. I'm not a CPA, but that's what everyone thinks of. Everyone who's not a CPA but an accountant knows that everyone makes some default assumptions. But that's when I started, and it's evolved since then. But the mission has stayed the same, which is us businesses, we're here to improve our communities and the businesses inside of our communities.
That's I feel so identified with what you said. And in my case, also, I mean, I worked all my life in software development or in tech, basically. And at some point, I had my software development company, and the mission was so similar to what you've said. Like, if we were helping mainly like startups, and
Hmm.
like if we were able just to help a founder, an entrepreneur, like build their startup, and they were thinking of just doing something just to help the world, and if we were the ones just helping them do that, I felt like so. Now here in South Offices, it's a different industry, but again, helping, I guess it's something that resonates in us, and that's, yeah, why we are waking up every single day and try to leave the give the best. Let's go back, and now you founded and you started Ariel or a year ago. When did you start this company?
August 2025. So it's a new iteration for us. We've been in bookkeeping and accounting for since 2020.
Hmm.
And I guess just conceptualizing as we see AI, not that we're an AI business, but as AI is forcing us to reconceptualize how we support businesses and the people who need love and use our services, it became really clear to me that I wanted to have a more comprehensive solution. So we started out just in bookkeeping and accounting. And I'm sure that my accountant friends can understand what it's like to be working with a company that really needs HR services but doesn't quite know what that looks like. So we've expanded more to back office services. So accounting, HR, and who knows what we'll add after that.
Okay, perfect. And are you working specifically with a niche, with an industry? How does that work?
Yeah, we work mostly in construction and manufacturing, but it really comes down to anyone who has job costing, whether that's big or small, and then an audit. So for us, we love the nitty-gritty, really process-driven, I guess, information that helps our clients not only have an easy audit, but price effectively, manage cash, and all the fun stuff that people love about construction and manufacturing.
Okay, and let me ask you why? Well, why construction and manufacture? Was it? I mean, you started because you had a few clients already. You had experience in that industry. I'm just curious why was that?
That's
Yeah.
a good question. No, I started working in the medical sphere because that's what I knew. I was an employee in the medical sphere and I have always like really enjoyed giving people information of value, improving their workflows. And so when I started, it was like, oh yeah, well, obviously I'm going to stay in that niche. I've spent 10 years there. I'm going to lean into that. And then as I think every firm owner has had an experience, someone needs help, it's out of your niche, you help them anyway. And if you had told me that I was going to build a firm that centered around manufacturing and construction that specifically have audits, I would have been like, you're crazy. That's insane.
Right.
Who would want that? That's not for me. But we have really enjoyed the challenge. And what started as a little bit of a favor has become something that we love. So if you're thinking about starting a firm and you're listening to this, I would recommend that you keep your mind open about what you might really thrive in. If you're a bloom where you're planted person like I am, I was like, "Oh, well, I've been planted in medical, so I love medical." And then once I had the option to go into other spheres and maybe work in some different dynamics, I realized, "Hey, now that I can choose, I actually do savor the challenge that that represents."
That's great. Super, super interesting. Well, it's not a year yet, and this few months, well, almost a year since we're in May already. Incredible. What's the specifically talking about Ariel? What's a big milestone or an achievement that you, or the first thing that comes to mind when I ask you for a big milestone that you got in this?
A good question. I think the founding was probably the first milestone because we were so used to doing one specific thing. We spent almost 4 years doing one specific thing. And when we all decided that we were ready to embrace a bigger challenge, that was a big moment because teams are everything.
Right.
I feel like leaders, it's our job to curate and foster and do everything that we can for a healthy, productive culture and to see everyone's enthusiasm in embracing this big challenge for everyone, not just me. This was a big undertaking for everyone, was really, really inspiring. We have people on our team that started as interns and have moved their way up all through the ranks. So to see that everyone sees a brighter future was so inspiring to me. And then from there, it's just been off to the races. So I think that was the initial tone, and it's worth celebrating that it continues to be.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Let me ask you. Let's just shift. I wanna change a little bit. I started humans in accounting nowadays, or when I started it last year. We were all super into, hey, AI is launching this new thing. It's gonna change the world. It's gonna change the way we live. And I said, hey, let's go back a little bit into the human side, which we can all relate because we are all humans. And specifically, I'm a foodie person. I really enjoy eating nice food. So I want to ask you this question: like, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food. Well, I thought when you brought in AI, you were going to ask if this was like some sort of ex machina moment. And this is not at all what you were asking. But I'm not sure if anyone else has problems with CAPTCHA, but I'm actually starting to think that maybe I am a robot because, like, I don't pass CAPTCHA that often. So my favorite food is like, I don't know, oil and solar panels. I don't know. Just kidding. I think, anyway. I'm pretty sure I'm human. Sushi, for sure. This is an easy one. Sushi, good sushi, even some maybe moderate sushi. You know, you go out fishing, you fillet it up on the boat. Like, I like it all. It's simple, tasty, like leans into the ingredients. Wonderful.
Sushi. We already had a few votes on sushi. Have you ever been to Japan?
I have not. I have
You have
not.
not.
No. Have you been there?
No, no, no. But
Oh,
I
there we
understand
go.
that sushi was it's from Japan, so that's why I was
Yeah.
asking. No, I really enjoy sushi as well. And in my case, my favorite food is asado,
Huh.
typical Argentinian
Yeah.
barbecue.
Yeah.
That it has
Yeah.
a little bit more to do with just getting together with family and friends rather than the
Come on.
actual
Yeah,
meat.
okay, yes, yes, and you can cut the meat with a spoon. I mean, what's not to like about that? It is legitimately delicious food, and then you throw in friends and family and good conversation, like, that's just the cherry on top, but I have to admit that I was like, sushi or asado," which is churrasco here. It was a tough call, but there's a lot of work that goes into churrasco or asado, where like sushi, it's pretty quick and easy. So I went with the easier option, but you have a great choice.
Great, but hold on. Are you saying that just because I said asado as well, and you're just trying to be nice, or you're seriously saying
Well,
that
I think
asado and
listeners, if you haven't had asado, Argentina asado, not American, gas grill. No, no, no. If it's cooked on a gas grill, that doesn't count. But like, a charcoal or a wood and not smoked,
Right.
just a nice cook to it, then you'll understand why I say that's a, a close second place.
Okay, I definitely agree, and yeah, whenever I invite people from foreigners just to come visit, because you can go just to a restaurant and order like really good quality of the food of the steak and all the different meat cuts. However, if you're like again like with family and friends and you just get together for 5 hours and you get started with a few drinks and then you eat and then you have dessert and then just chat for that's what makes it or it complements at least for me just to say yeah that's my favorite food. I really enjoy sushi and asado has I'm pretty sure like just one vote and it's mine. Sushi already
Well,
has a few
put in my
a few
vote for
votes.
churrasco, which is second place. So if you come down, so in Argentina, do they have the places where you go and it's like you can try a little bit of any cut that comes out? Is that a thing in Argentina? No.
Yeah, but you mean like having like a flat rate, right? Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like all you
Uh-huh.
can eat, something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes, we do. Actually, in any restaurant, you can do that.
You
The
can do
only
that.
thing is that you will need just to pay whatever you order, right?
Well, yeah, of course, of
But
course. I mean, the
I
nice
understand what
thing, yeah, like for I don't know about I'm not gonna speak for all American families, but in my American barbecues, like everyone got the same cut. So people are like, "What is your favorite cut?" I'm like, "I have no idea. Like I've only ever had one at a time." But at the all you can eat place, you can have just like a little sliver of everything and actually figure
exactly.
out what your favorite cut is. Mine's prime rib for sure.
Right, right. Yeah, you made an excellent point, and that has to do, and that's why it's better if you go to an asado with a bunch of people. Because if you just
Mhm.
go, you and your partner, your husband, you're not going to be able just to have like different options
Yeah.
because you're going to get full like right away.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you go with family and friends and you're like 20, you can do
Mhm.
exactly what you're saying. So
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
super important. Thank you for answering me that question. I'll probably be posting shortly an updated ranking of
What
the
is number 1? Do you know what number 1 is off the top of your head?
I think tacos, like Mexican food in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
tacos,
Legitimate.
pizza, and sushi. They're top three. I'm pretty sure.
Interesting. Interesting. The tacos make sense to me. The pizza, I have a few concerns about my colleagues in accounting, but, we all have different tastes. Some of us
Here in humans in accounting, we do not judge. I just ask for their favorite food, and I'm just
Yes,
counting.
Alex, you
All right.
you are a very magnanimous person. Thank you.
Okay. Let me. In my specific case, again, for me, like humor, for instance, eating nice food, sports are like things really important for me personally. I do know you. What's your relationship with sports? Do you play any sports? Do you have anything you do while you're not working?
Yeah, yeah, so I'm a hobby addict. You can debate, like, we won't get into the debate on what is a sport or not a sport because one of my current hobbies is horse riding, of which I do categorize as a sport, but I recognize that that is a controversial opinion. Yes, I love to compete. I love to like get out there and get your heart pumping and learn new things. And certainly sports are a part of that. And I think that that's probably pretty common for most of our fellow firm and business owners, actually, as well.
Right. And horse riding, yeah, the thing is like it's super crucial and important in order to do horse riding to have the actual horse because if not, you cannot
Not
do it, right?
so, I mean, I don't own a horse right now. I just pick up horses that my horse situation is a good one because I love to negotiate, and I love a regular challenge, but my hobbies do change. I've done kayaking. I was in a, like, film festival and whitewater kayaking, like, with the waterfalls.
Right.
Skydiving is a big one. I mean, the list goes on. If you're looking circus, I was really into circus for a while. I do rotate, like, in and out. Right now, it's horses. Yeah, you don't actually need a horse, though. You can lease a horse. You can find someone who is afraid of their horse and ride their horse, as is my case right now.
Right. No, 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 no. That definitely you don't need just to own a horse, but somehow you need just to have the
Yeah,
actual horse somehow.
yeah.
And that's something that at least for me, like right now, it's something that I won't be able just to get like within the next 15 minutes. On the other hand, I can get a racket and play tennis this afternoon.
But don't
But
you need a partner? I mean, you need a partner, right? You don't normally play by yourself.
you do have a point. Yes, you need a partner and you need a court, but I know where I can find a partner and a court, and I don't really know where I can find a horse
Well,
right
I
now.
could help you with that, Alex. These are just logistics issues that all have a resolution. So I don't actually know where to find a paddle court or a paddle partner. So I think this is a solvable.
I love your optimism, and you're actually right. Yes, you're right. It's a solvable problem. That's great. That's great that you have this hobbies. Yeah, for all of us and for many humans in accounting, like it's super critical or important just to yeah while we are not trying just to grow our business and to make our clients happy and automate things and working on the business, sometimes it's super important just to have our minds and clear and maybe just focus on something else. At least I'm just talking, maybe this is not for everyone, but at least for me it is, just to be able just to yeah. In my case, it's a sport. It's just to do something so that I can have my mind clear, and then when I'm back to business, I can concentrate.
Well, and I would actually go a step further, Alex. I think that hobbies or activities or whatever it is away from your work actually improves your work. Like, I think we've all had an experience where we are way too close, too involved, like too wrapped up in whatever it is that we're doing inefficient processes. We're doing things we haven't really thought about because we're so in the zone that we can't conceptualize another way. So I actually think it even goes farther than that. I think that everyone should be dedicating time in their calendar, hold it sacred like you would a client meeting, and go do the thing at least 3 times a week, and your business will be better for it. Hands down. At least 3 times a week, friends. Also, 6 servings of vegetables a day.
Well, that's solid advice, and I haven't asked you for advice yet, but that's solid advice, and I agree. I agree 100%. Let's go back to your business to our Ariel. I wanna know plans for the future. How do you see Ariel in the next year? And like, are you gonna continue growing, expanding with no services, putting an office in Argentina? Well, what are the plans? What are the plans for?
Yeah, so we do have a goal of 50% expansion. So
Okay.
definitely leaning into aggressive growth. At present, we're focusing on just doing HR really well and more importantly, unifying the services so that we don't have anything that slips through the cracks. I think that was our client's big frustration is that the line like, historically, HR was under the CFO. Now we have chief people officers, and where those lines are drawn is a little bit amorphous than it used to be. So, for this year, our main focus is just diving deep into the services that we already have, and then from there, we'll roll out more.
Okay, and let me ask you this one thing, Colin. What about if there's someone in the future watching this on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and they say, "Hey, actually, maybe Nicole can help me out. I have this construction company. I'm having issues here in HR. Like, how do you actually engage if they reach out to you and they say, "Hey, maybe you can help me out"? Is this something that offer them a service, or is it like for a specific period of time? I just want to understand that a little bit better,
Yeah.
and maybe your
Yeah.
audience can.
Yeah, yeah. So we typically come in where where one person is desirable, but finding one person who can fill all of those seats and wear all of those hats is a challenge. We do have clients where we fill 4 seats. So the spectrum is wide, but if you're a business owner and you're either struggling between you pay more because you have to hire the highest role that you need, right?
Right.
Or you pay less and know that balls are going to be dropped and you're just hoping that they're not balls that are important, then I would say that that's sort of where we live, is that if you have little fractions of needs along the chain, um, and that top dollar is like, "Oof, well, that's, we maybe need 10% of a CFO, but are we going to pay a CFO salary for them to be doing, n- you know, 70% bookkeeping? That's an expensive bookkeeper."
Right.
Then that's where we can come in and shine. And then also, I'm sure you have the same thing, Alex, is that you help build cross-trained teams that don't rely on one person only. I think everybody has seen a business where either an HR person or an accountant has left and the company is in shambles and no one knows how people are going to get paid and no one
Exactly.
knows how to get their benefits. And that's a totally avoidable situation that we can help you with.
Okay, that's great. Now that you're mentioning this, again, maybe someone is feels super identified with what you've just said and say, "Hey, I need to talk with Nicole." So let's answer that question for them. Like, what's the best way just to reach out to you, or what's the best way just to
Yeah.
contact you?
Yeah, so I think our website is probably the easiest way. We have a contact form there. It's ariel-core.com. Alex, I'm sure you'll add a link to the notes here,
Of
and
course.
you can read a little bit about to see if we're a good fit. That's our number one thing. I think as we talk about humans in accounting, the good, bad news is that there's way more demand, even with AI,
Right.
than there are people to fill the need. So, more than anything, my goal for other firm owners as well as our clients is to make sure that you have a good fit. So, you jump on over to our website, see if you think we vibe, and then from there we can schedule a call.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And of course, yeah, when we publish this episode of Humans in Accounting, I'll make sure just to tag you and to leave the link for your website so that people can reach out. Last one, and I love asking this question mainly because I learned the truth is that through this interview, you already just gave some really good advice. But I'm gonna ask you, or let me just shape this question another way. Let's say someone is thinking of starting their own business, not an accounting firm, a business in general, maybe a startup or a business that they wanted just to do for a long time. And they said, "Hey, you know what? I think now it's the time. May 2026, I'm going to jump. I'll do it." What's the, I don't know, one or two advice that you could give someone who's, yeah, ready just to just start their own business through your experience?
Yeah, I would say models and processes. It is just rigor and work. There's, in my opinion, no crystal ball. The best time to do those models is before you start your business. Like, do make sure that your business is going to get you where you want to go, that the market exists, that the work that you want to do is going to be supported by the population that you want to support. Keep your mind open, but definitely make sure that you do your due diligence in terms of, and this is fresh on my mind because we've just expanded markets, you making sure that you can financially serve at the level that you'd like to serve and that still provides value to the clients at the level that they deem valuable. So that's probably the first one. And then the second one is processes. Like, no matter what your business is, businesses are built and supported by strong processes. So as long as you have a proven, well, it's not going to be proven until you go out there, but as long as you have a reasonable model, high low, right? Like, I think as entrepreneurs, we're all a little bit delusional and we have to be. That's
Right.
what caused us to start. Like, I think if most of us knew how much work it was going to be, then maybe there would be fewer entrepreneurs.
For
Maybe
sure.
there would be. We're definitely silver lining people. So make sure that you do the high and the low and come up with what those milestones are each step of the way to say, like, okay, we're on track or we're off track. And it's much, much easier to do that in the beginning than when you're in the heat of it. I've never seen people create milestones under pressure that actually get them where they want to go. So do that in advance. Yeah. And then processes. Like everything is easier with processes. You can hire, you can grow, you can onboard new clients, produce new products, whatever it is that you would like to do with ease when you have that planned out in advance.
Right. And even though, as you said, if you're not sure if that's the correct process, or if it's not the best one, I think it's important just to have it. And then while you're going, you realize, hey, maybe I can improve it this way, or I can do this other
Mhm.
thing that I was not
Mhm.
thinking at the beginning. But I think it's important, as you're saying, Nicole, just to have them, then iterate them and make them better.
Yeah.
But just have them from day one.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're trying to set up or document processes when you have a team of 5, that is,
Right.
and you haven't built the culture of create and refine, then starting that, you're too late. It's not that you're too late. It's just going to be a much, much heavier lift. And you're going to have to do more work to infuse that into the culture than you would if it was just welcome. We are a process driven organization. Processes are what allow humans to be humans in the interaction.
Nicole, thank you so much for being part of Humans in Accounting. It was great having you, and yeah, I'll promise that when we publish this episode, I'll make sure just to tag you, and if I have doubts on how to get a horse, yeah, I'll definitely ping you, so that you can help me out with a horse, right?
Perfect. Well, likewise with paddle.
For sure, Nicole. Nice having you. Have a good one. All right.
Thank you, Alex.